Low volumes is always a classic sign of caution, but to your last guest point, we don't panic in. I think that there's something else that needs to be considered here. A lot of people are already in, so you're not going to see a huge volume. This isn't a classic reversal, this is a continuation, and that's the decision that people are trying to make.
I wanted you to take a listen to Stephen Wood from Russell Investments. He's a chief investment strategist that CNBC spoke with earlier. You talked about don't panic in. He's saying he would sell right now. Take a listen.
I think you would want to sell the rallies right now. You would take some of these movements upward, use those to underweight the U.S., in our opinion, from an equity perspective, and use that to fund, let's say, an overweight in Europe. Be very selective on overweight in Japan, we would think would make a lot of sense. Because right now, I think it's more of a valuation game than anything else. We can talk about the Fed if you like to, but valuations right now in the short term, they look expensive.
Okay, so he says now's the time to sell. Keith, you disagree. Why?
Well, here's the thing. As long as central banks are easing or skidding, greasing the skids, you got to be in to win. People have been making that exact same argument since the 2009 lows, and they've been wrong for a long time, which is a very expensive mistake to make. So can you argue that there's a short-term reversal coming? Sure. But you know what? That's like arguing it's going to be sunny tomorrow. There's a good probability it's going to be that way. So you have to be part of the market if you want to participate in the growth that is still happening.
Okay, so Keith, if you're in to win, where in particular are you investing your money? Can you give us some specific names?
Absolutely. Now, this is where you do want to be very selective. You don't want to stick around the edges because you're going to find out that you've been speculating when you think you've been investing. That's never a good position for an individual investor to be in. What you do want to do, in my opinion, is you want to stick to the big players with the fortress-like balance sheets, the international exposure, because as the dollar changes, as central bankers continue with their madness, these are the companies that are positioned to profits. For example, you can look at Becton Dickinson, which is a major player in the disposable single-use medical space. You can look at a company like Raytheon, which is a logical defense play. Big, huge dollars. The world is an upset place. They're going to benefit. You can even look to a company like Apple because it's shifting from devices to infrastructure. Not many people understand that Apple's services revenue has grown significantly to the point where it is the second largest revenue producer. Not iPhones, not Macs, not all the traditional computers that people think about.
Yeah, indeed. And we just need some disclosures on those three companies that you talked about.
All no on personal, all yes on family. Company does recommend, but we do not own, and no investment banking whatsoever with any of them.